I'm Tanya Dalton. I'm a motivational keynote speaker. I'm a productivity and happiness expert who's been running multiple seven-figure businesses since 2008. So I get a lot of questions, but two questions come up time and time again. Question one, how can I stop wasting time? And the second one, how do I create more laser focus? And the good news is there's one answer to both of those questions: Parkinson's law. But what is Parkinson's law? Well, Parkinson's law says work will expand to fit the time allowed for it. So let me make this really simple for you. Let's think about time and work as a bowl of ice cream. So the bowl is your time and the work is your ice cream. I wish work tasted more like ice cream. If I want to have some ice cream, I will go into my kitchen and I'll find a bowl. And I will fill that bowl with ice cream. And I will enjoy every single bite, totally satisfied. But what if, while rummaging through the cupboard, I find a bigger bowl and I fill that bowl up with ice cream? Will I only eat a couple of bites and then put it away? Probably not, especially if it's covered in chocolate sauce. I will eat it until my spoon scrapes the bottom of that bowl, and I'll eat more of the ice cream. No matter which bowl I choose, a large bowl or a small bowl, my idea of how much ice cream I need expands to fit the size of the bowl. And time, it works exactly the same way. In other words, if you have a 2-hour task and you give yourself a week to get it done, you will take a week to get that task done. Not because it needs more than 2 hours, but because we will fill up that time, we'll fill up that bowl with anxiety, with stress, with overthinking and overworking. You know what I'm talking about here. When you spend 2 hours choosing just the right font for that presentation. We've all been there. In other words, wasting time. So to apply Parkinson's law, let's flip the question of how much time do I have to how much time do I need? Now, a perfect place to start applying Parkinson's law is meetings. I recently wrote an article for Forbes and I talked about the importance of applying Parkinson's law, and meetings was one of the places we talked about. So often we live by the 30 and 60-minute increments on our Outlook calendar. We stick to those time increments and we feel trapped into these 30 or 60-minute meetings, when a lot of meetings might just need to be 10 minutes or 25 minutes. So that's a perfect place to change the size of our bowl. So how do we do this? Well, start by setting an agenda. That only takes a couple of minutes, but it gives you an idea of what you're going to want to cover, and that starts to give you a snapshot of how much time you're going to need. You also want to make sure you only really invite people who are directly involved, because that will help us to avoid all those side conversations and the rabbit holes we tend to get into that drag the meeting out longer and longer. And then prep everyone in advance. If there's documents they need before the meeting, make sure to email those out ahead of time, because that eliminates a lot of needless time wasting during the meeting. And it allows your meeting to be so much more productive. So that's just one way we can apply Parkinson's law, but think about, with all of your projects and tasks, how maybe you're making your bowl a little too big. All right, let's tackle that second question. How do I create laser focus? Well, in my book, The Joy of Missing Out, I talk about how we simply take Parkinson's law and flip it on its head. And that will help us create more focus. In other words, we can do the opposite. Instead of expanding time, we can contract it. We can shorten the time. And here's an example I share in the book. Let's say you want to do a brand new video for your website. You'd probably give yourself a couple of weeks to make that happen, right? But let's say that Oprah calls. And Oprah says, I have a last minute cancellation. I want to get you on my show, but I need your video by the end of the day. Are you going to be able to make it happen? You know you will. I know I would. So here's the thing. We didn't really need the several weeks to get it done. We just needed the focus. Shortening the time allows us to get laser focused. Now, Parkinson's law is not magic fairy dust. It's not going to take a 4-hour task and turn it into a 2-hour task. We need to be realistic. And we do that by setting expectations from the very beginning. So often we feel like we haven't done enough, we haven't worked long enough, because we haven't set up what that final destination looks like. What are the metrics of success? What does success look like? How will I know when I'm there? And that's how we stop wasting time and build laser focus exactly the same time. So it's moving from being just time-oriented, thinking about time, to task-oriented, focusing in on the quality of what needs to be done and what success looks like. And this, to be honest with you, is the heart of the message of the Oxford talk I just recently gave. So if you haven't watched my Oxford talk, give it a watch. It's 10 minutes and I guarantee it'll start shifting how you look at time and how you spend your time at work. And if you're interested in learning more about how we use productivity as a tool for procrastination, because yep, we definitely do, read my Forbes article. I have links below to my Forbes article as well as my Oxford talk. And in the meantime, I would love to hear, how are you going to start applying Parkinson's law? How are you going to allow it to help you stop wasting time or create laser focus? Leave that in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and be sure to subscribe.